Hello, hello, everyone. It's Darlene here. It's Tuesday, September 23rd, and it's time for your weekly Facebook Live. Oh, as always, I'm just going to jump over here to Facebook and make sure I am in the right spot. Looks good. Okay, I hope that looks good. Yeah. Okay. Cool. There is so much going on today with the Stampin' Up, and the announcements and all of that. So I really hope that you will either, you're already signed up for my emails, or you'll consider signing up for my emails so that you won't miss out on any of the goodness that's coming in October. There's a fantastic join special coming, and I'm so excited to be able to share that with you. There's also some new, there's some new ways to stamp with Stampin' Up. Stampin' Up is offering some different kits than they've ever offered before. So I'm excited to learn about all of that and share that with you as well. So it was just a lot to be able to print everything out and wrap my head around everything, because today's class, today's Facebook Live is actually a class, and we're making 4 cards. So it's already going to be a little longer video than I normally have. So I didn't want to bog you down with all of that in the beginning, but we will be talking about it over the next, next week, and then it starts in October. So super excited. Today is monthly card class day. So this class is this Saturday, September 27th, 2025. And I'm pretty sure I have 1 kit left. So whether you want to come in person or get that to go, you can message me, and yeah, we can figure that out. I just filmed my Club Create intro for October, and I just want to show you the cards. You'll get that in the email also. So I always try to include a fun fold and then these 4 fun cards. So you're going to make 8 cards. You get half a pack of paper, the full bolt of ribbon, a full pack of embellishment. You can get 4 more cards, the other half of the paper, the other half of the ribbon, all with envelopes for just $20. So make sure you're on my email list for that, so that you will, so you won't miss out on any of that. All right, let me put these where they belong so I don't use them. And we're just going to go ahead and get started. So this month for Christmas card class, I featured the Jolly Holly, the bundle, and this is hybrids, which means that this die works with this embossing folder. And one of the cards, I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we also, the embossing folder works just like a normal embossing folder. So if you don't want to cut out, to have those leaves kind of pop up, you don't have to. So because of the fact that I'm making all 4 cards, I did do a lot of work ahead of time, but let's just jump in. So if you get the kit to go, you're going to get a piece of cardstock, white cardstock. This is your stamping and your coloring that you're going to need to do. So I've already done all of that and die cut it, but I just want to quickly show you. You're going to need, this is Daffodil Delight, and my light marker is dried out pretty much. So I've got to put that on in order to get some more daffodil blends. So I'm not really doing any shading. I'm just doing all of that with the dark, and then the red, I'm just going to fill it in. And you can do a little shading on this too if you want, but I'm just going to fill the whole thing in with light. And so this is something that you can do when you first get your kit, is to go ahead and stamp all of these images. You need 2 bells, 2 of the flowers, 4 sprigs, and 10 holly. I know, I went a little crazy with the holly, but It's so darn cute. So then I'm just going to add a little dark here, and then we'll just kind of pull that down, blend that in. So super simple coloring. You don't have to get very detailed. All right, so you're going to do that. And then I also use, this is the same card, is this flower. And so I'm just going to just color in the little leaves here. We're just making it red. Our little poinsettia. And then if you wanted, you could down the middle of the veins there. And then, but it's also up to you how much coloring you want to do. It's pretty quick. All right. And then these are just stamped and die cut. And then we're going to need Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler. So you're using 3 blends on one card, and you're making 2, and then the other card gets 2 each, but I colored them all the same. So you're just going to color in your berries, and then the leaves, I'm using Mossy Meadow. Hi there. Happy Tuesday. So we've got, so this will be all of your stamping that you need to die cut. And I just thought that I should show you. If you get the kit, or if you ordered the kit to go, you can kind of stamp, color, and cut, and then you'll be ready to go to assemble everything. And then all of this holly you would color the same. And you don't have to do as many leaves as I did, but this is, if you want to make the cards exactly like I did, this is what I did. Okay? So, there'll be a picture of this. All right. So, first card we'll just start off with. This is a fun fold card. Isn't this fun? It's a fun fold. I like it. All right, so you've got your first kit. Now you will have to, let me show you how to cut this. So you're gonna take your card, you're gonna open it up, and I want to trim this side right here. And so I'm gonna put that over here, and I'm gonna go to the right of my trimmer so that I can reach 1 1/4. And I'm going to cut down, but I'm going to stop at that score line, okay? So we're just kind of splitting the front. And then if your card is already scored, so you'll feel it when it's time to stop, okay? So that's as simple as that is. Got your pieces here. Oh, oops. I thought I colored both of them. Let's quickly do that. Sorry about that. I thought I colored both of them. It doesn't take very long. Done, and then the other cards, everything is already colored. So they're not fiddly cards, but I mean, this set, this bundle, I mean, it's really just what I kind of envisioned for it when I saw it. I was like, oh, I love holly. And I'm going to show you how to do it a couple different ways. We didn't always stamp it. All right, so there's that. I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. So we've got our card base. Let's do a little bit of stamping. So you're going to use, you've got 2 labels. You want to use the smaller one. And I've got a piece of scratch paper. I'm going to move all that off to the side. And here, we're going to take the dark Mossy Meadow and your bone folder, and I made a mess earlier. I'm going to show you why I did that. And I'm just going to smack this against the bone folder and get some splatter on there. If you have another way you like to do this, go right ahead. I just wanted a little subtle color on there. So it's not much, but you might not even be able to see it. Okay, so then in your kit, you're going to have, this is about 8 inches of the real red and white baker's twine. And I just colored it with the Stampin' Blend. And to do that, you just take, I'm going to use the brush tip, and I'm going to use it like flat. And you just take it and run it across. I'll just do a little bit for you right here. Because we don't have any cherry cobbler ribbon. Now you could also, if you have cherry cobbler twine, and then it dries almost immediately, but that's why this is all messy. If you could use cherry cobbler twine, if you have some. We had some previous years, but I couldn't find mine, so I guess I've used it all. And then you could use white and leave it white or color it. You could leave this red and white and not color it if you. It's up to you. It's your card. Okay, but those are the things that I would do in the beginning to let that dry. Now I've got my sentiment for the inside and my sentiments for the outside. So the inside, this is cherry cobbler. And we're going to stamp this right there. Get my shimmy up here. Okay. And then on the small label that you splattered that Mossy Meadow ink, we're going to, let's put this right there. I'm going to stamp the Christmas first. And we're going to have holly off in the corner. So I'm going to go a little to the right. Hopefully that's straight. And then the Mary. So you can mix and match these. We're going to be using the block font on another card. So this one I used both of the Scripty, but you could use this Mary with this Christmas or match and have it be however you want it. And then this just kind of nestles in right on top of that. Okay. And boy, almost got away with it. All right, let's clean off the cherry cobbler ink. And then might as well clean my stamps while I'm here, because these are going to go right back in the bucket for class. So this also helps me to prepare that I've got everything in there that needs to be in there. Okay, so now we can put it together. So I'm going to bring back in our pieces. This is going to go on the inside. Let's glue this one down first. I'm just going to use some seal. And you're only putting adhesive on this strip right here. And we're just going to glue down this strip to the card front, or the card base. And then you just want to make sure that your card is still square. Okay, so then, whoops, we've got our insert. Taking the easy way out today and using some seal. And then this is going to go right in there. And then this is a piece of the designer paper. Sometimes the wheel quits rolling, so if you just take your silicone mat and kind of advance it, that will help. Get that on there. I forgot to show you guys last week. I was going to show you what to do with a brand new ink pad, and I forgot. So one of my customers ordered It's actually, I think it's going to work out even better. But one of my customers ordered the uninked white pad that comes with the white, and she ordered the Memento. And so I asked her if I could convert it for her. She purposely bought it to make one like the one that I've showed you guys that I've made. So she purposely bought it to do that. And I asked her if I could do it on a video, and that way I could show you guys. And she said, sure. So I'm going to put that up here, and hopefully that means that I won't forget to do it. Hello, hello there. I don't know. Are you guys connect? So I hope I'm not cutting in and out. Sheesh. All right. This is going to go down flat just like this. And all right, I'm going to, this will be the same, it's the same length as the DSP, so this should line up, and it lines up at the bottom, so there's the front. Okay, so then you have the card, and that's how it opens. Okay, now let's do a little bit with this. So you've got a little length of the Mossy Meadow and gold trim. And I'm just going to wrap it around the left edge and make them even. Now I'm going to cheat and use my reverse tweezers to help me hold on to that. You can also, because I know that that's where I want it, I'm going to put a little adhesive there to help tack that down. You could do it on the back too. You could use your tweezers. But I'm going to take my twine that we colored and tie a bow. Go up a little bit because all of the die cuts are going to be coming off of this left edge. So. And you can adjust this part later, the height or wherever the placement, okay? So, and then you can, I'm not gonna cut it yet either until I get everything on there and I see how big I want it. Okay, so now we're going to, I forgot to grab my dots. Let me see. Where are, geez, we're not in a bucket. I don't have my dots in front of me because I was packing up kits and I was cutting dots up. I'm supposed to have here. That's not the right ones. Well, I have this from another kit. Oh, I'll just replace them. Anyway, there's some of the low profile. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, this piece is going to get dimensionals, so got a couple of sheets going here. I'm going to put them in the corners, and then let's put one right in the middle. All right, and then let me move this out of the way. Okay, this is going to go on top, centered like this. Isn't this pretty? I love this card. Okay, and then I don't like the way that bow looked. If you know me, I'm a little particular. There we go. All right, and then we'll adjust it when we get it on the card. Okay, now this is just going to go down flat. Let's see, you've got plenty of ribbon, but you only want to glue it on the right. I don't know, the right 2/3. I don't know. I'm just going to put glue on this side, or adhesive. Okay, and then you can stick a little back there too, like we did on the front. That's probably a good idea. Okay, close this up, and then knowing that this piece, there's no adhesive from this side over, and you're just going to lay that down like so. Make sure that's straight. Okay. Yeah, and then we will make sure that that is adhesed, which it's not. All right, so let me put these pieces on here so that we can get the placement. And we're gonna just use just glue dots. Okay, I've got a pack sitting right there next to me because these, I'm probably gonna finish this roll during this video. Okay, and then when you put yours on, you're gonna have one sprig going this way and then one sprig going that way, because there's just the one stamp. So it doesn't have like a reverse image. All right, let me grab my pick. And we're just going to, I want to stay within the borders of the card. You don't want it extending out because then you'll have trouble getting it in your envelope. So we'll just kind of, I'm going to start like that. And then let's see, I'm going to put this here. And then we'll put this one kind of right on top of it like that. And then I've got a little wink to put on these berries because we've got that gold in the trim. I just thought it needed a little, there we go. And then of course in the embellishments too. So we're gonna take a large one, and put it up here. This one I had a lot more of the splatter, so you can do as much or as little as you want. There we go. And then you can kind of pull these two apart, and that'll kind of cinch it down. And then you'll take your snips and trim the twine, and then also trim however high, however to be. And I like to stagger the ends. Okay. All right. Let me scoot this out of the way, and we'll bring in the next card. So we have that. All right. Here's the next one. This one actually doesn't have any stamping. So, but we are going to do a little ink blending. And I've got Cherry Cobbler and Gastella again, and an Old Olive ink pad and a blending brush. Okay. So, in your packet, you'll have your, make sure there's, sometimes the little pieces get caught in the corners. All right, so in your kit, you have a card base of thick basic white that the front of your card has been embossed for you. You'll also have a piece of Old Olive that this has been embossed and used the hybrid, so it's used that dye too, to where these kind of pop up. But what we're going to do is we're going to cut them out. So we need 2 of them. So I've used, and I mean, you can use whatever you want, but I used one of the 4 grouping and one of the 3 grouping. So, I don't know. I think you only get one of the 4 grouping, but anyway, it's okay. We're just going to use, you're going to get the one piece, and then you'll just cut these apart and use whichever ones you want. So you're just going to need to kind of finish cutting it out. So you just go along. There we go. And then I'm just going to cut this away from this big thing so that I have less to work with. And then you can see how it's up in there, and so you're just going to kind of finish cutting it out. Okay, so this is the second way we're doing holly. All right, so there's the one, and we'll use this one down here. So you can use whichever one you want. And then I've got, let's see, let's grab, there's a little one of 4, but you can grab whatever you want. Let's grab, it's cut off right there. So let's just grab this one. So let's see if we can first kind of cut it away from everything else. And then you've got the rest of the sheet to use however you want. I'm just cutting these away. So you've got all of this left over to make more. And of course you're going to be doing this twice. I'm only making the one card for you, but that's what was left after making the 2 cards. Got my little trash can over here, and okay, and then just a little bit right in here. Okay, so now we've got that. I thought this was a cute way, or a cool way, to get a background behind this joy, because there is just the one die. And I'm going to show you how I did it, and you might be smarter than me and have a better way to do this. So in your kit, you'll have the joy. This is cut out in gold foil, and we're going to glue it down to the white, and then we're going to let it dry for a minute. Now, I left my glue open overnight, so hopefully it's going to behave. I closed it this morning when I came back in here, but you know. I really like that the dot to the I is connected to the word, so you don't have to worry about losing that. So we're going to take that, and I'm just going to lay it down on top, okay? And I'm also going to just stick a block over it. Okay, and then we'll do this in just 1 second. So while that's drying, I'm going to take my 2 little leaves and some old olive ink, and I just want to kind of blend some color on the edges. This is completely optional. You can go as dark or as light as you want. It's up to you. I'm sure you could also use a sponge dauber, but just getting adding some more texture in. Okay. All right. So even though there's no stamping, there is a little bit of ink. And I've got the blend and the wink again, and my pencil that I'm going to show you a little pencil trick. So these are ready. That dry just a little bit. So we can go ahead and adhere these 2 pieces together. This die set comes with these 2 sizes of these stitched rectangles, and I think I used them on every card, but I love them. All right, so that's going to go down like that, and then this is going to get dimensionals. All right, and then we can go ahead and like build this part. So, oops, backing came off, so let's put it on the mat. This is going to go like this. Oh, you know what? We should probably color these first. So I just took the bullet tip on my Cherry Cobbler Stampin' Blend and just colored over the top of the berries. And then we're also going to put some wink on there, because everything's better with Wink Stella, in my personal opinion. Okay. So if you want to join us for this card class, I do have 1 packet left. It's Saturday from 1 to 4 here in San Antonio. let's see, this is glue dot on the corner, and let's see, how do you want it? This is a little bigger than the other one that I did, but that's okay. It's still going to be a glue dot in the corner. I probably should have done a smaller one. It's okay. You do whatever you want. I'm showing you both. All right, blending brush goes back in there. Okay, now you have your piece of ribbon, and basically I just fold it in half and then smush it like that. Okay, so it's, the ends are even. You're just going to cross it over. The ends are still even. And then I'm just going to take this part and bring it up to here. Oh. Well, you just saw me do it. So it really needs to be crisscrossed like this. And then this just comes up like that. Okay? And then this is going to get attached behind here. So maybe I take that dimensional off for a second, and yeah, let's just take that guy off and put some adhesive behind here and lay this down in it. And then if you need more, you can kind of put a little more here. And then it looks like a little bow back there. And then you have this. Okay, so now this can go onto the front of a card like this. I love that white background. Oops. Okay, now this is the part where if you have a better idea, let me know how you would do this part. I mean, you could just draw around it. You could just freehand around it, but you know, I'm a little particular. So I just laid the die over the top of it and just traced around with my pretty purple Ticonderoga pencil that my friend Eileen gave me. Okay, so all of that is in my kit, and then we're just going to cut around that. And you can see I just cut on the inside of the pencil line. And then you get this fun little bubble. I know it's a little extra, but I liked the end result. So you do you. And I thought by tracing the shape of the die, it would help me getting the shape around the word that I really wanted. So. And, you know, I'm not making a lot of these either. I've made 2. So if you were making a lot of these, maybe you have a better way or an easier way. Okay. There we go. Okay. And then this is going to get put on the front with dimensionals. So we've got enough room to put some big ones here, like that. And you know what? We'll probably put one there. Then this is just going to go right here. It's so pretty. I love it. I love the cutesy cards, but man, these cards, I love them. So there's card number 2. Okay. All right. Now, put that blending brush in there. I don't want to get my card dirty. Oh, All right. Next card. Here's where we you, oops, and I just dropped my blend. Here's the next card. I don't need the blend, but I need it to go back in the bucket. And then I've got adhesive backed sparkle gems. So you'll get a strip of these. All right, so we've got, make sure, some of the pieces, and I specifically took one that this happened to. So when you're taking the embossing folder and you have the die in it, you're gonna lay the die down onto the Stampin' Up side, and then you'll have, this only fits one way. So if you have it like this and it's not like, because you're gonna feel it lock in, then just turn it around. And then you're gonna feel it lock in around. So that's locked in there, okay? And then you stick your, you stick your cardstock down in there, and then you run it through. And it's a hybrid, so you use the base plate and then your 3D plate. So whether you have the gray one or the blue one, it's number 4. And that's it. So you use the platform and number 4. All right, so you have that, and then this is what happens. I know you saw it with that old olive that we used in the last card, but this is what, this is how we're going to use this. Now, some of your packet might have this piece that it cut it all the way off, which is fine, because I'm going to show you how to fix that. Because it happened for me too, and I thought, oh, well, let me make sure I get that kit so that I can show you. So, because it didn't happen to all of them, so I'm not sure why. But let's do some quick stamping. We've got Real Red ink and our sentiment that says Bright and Happy Christmas Wishes. I think all the sentiments in this set are really great. And we're going to stamp this kind of in the middle. Hopefully my head doesn't get in the way. Oh, it's going to. Let me put this down a little bit. I need to see the top of my head. There we go. Okay. Back in the bucket for Saturday. Let me clean it off. All right, so now let's do some, ooh, this is why I'm using the Stampin' Seal. Whew, that hurt. Okay, now my die cut went a little crooked, so I was like, well, I'll just use that one because it's gonna be covered by our little bells up there, so nobody will ever know the difference. And then this is gonna go up here, and nobody will ever know that I made that boo-boo. So let's just put this on here. Oh, come on. Squeezing is still an issue. Here we go. It's been, what, 7 weeks since my surgery? I'm graduated from PT, or I was actually OT, occupational therapy, but that's okay. All right, now for this one, we're going to leave that piece off for a second. I guess we should put this on the inside. Let's take the... All right, and then this is going to go on the inside. I just think it makes the card look more finished when you have the insert. Let's make sure that... All right, so here, all of these pieces are going to get popped up. So I didn't put adhesive on any of those partial pieces, partially cut pieces. So I just, and I know I'm going to use liquid glue, but that's because I'm just going to go around and put adhesive on the solid pieces. So I'm not putting adhesive where this is cut out. This is not cut out right here, so I'm going to put some adhesive there. So you'll see it when you get yours, or when you cut it out. You'll see where to put the adhesive, because you want those pieces to be able to pop up. It's the whole point of that die and using it this way. And I wanted to make sure that I really utilized the whole bundle and its features so that you could be getting the full experience of this bundle. Okay, so then this is going to go onto the front, and it covers the whole front of the card. So if you need to, I like to tap down at the fold at the top, because it's easier to cut it off on the bottom if you need to. And then so you're just making sure that and sometimes in the embossing folder it can stretch the card stock, but so if it doesn't line up completely, you can just trim it off. But I'm doing my best. Okay, and then it actually is not hanging over anywhere. Okay, so now this piece, I do want this little tip to be able to pop up, so I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive here at the edge, and this is going to go right to the edge of the card. So let's grab, and I'm going to have to do it upside down, so you'll see you'll just kind of fit it back in there, but it's only got adhesive on this back edge right there. And then you can kind of pick up these pieces. I mean, it'll probably get flattened in the mail, but if I got this card, I would be like, oh, these pieces are supposed to be popped up. So yeah, and you can do them, you know, these are all going to be popped up, and then we're going to tuck our sentiment in between a couple of the leaves, like it's just kind of nestled in there. Okay, so then we're going to put glue on the back of this, but I just want to show you that this, maybe this part needs to be down. The ones in the middle can be left down, but I want to make sure that my sentiment is not covered. So I'm kind of just eyeballing where I'm going to want this. So this middle section, you really don't need to pop them up, right? Okay, so that's how it's going to go. And I'm going to use this glue. All right. And then the top of this leaf was right here by that S. And then this is going to go behind, and that's going to go under. Okay. So your piece might be a little different. I mean, I die cut them all pretty much the same, but you know, that's why I went ahead and kind of did a dry fit to see where it was going to lie and where I wanted things to go. All right, so let's push that down. Okay, and then you'll have some of these. You'll have a strip of this. I don't have all the right pieces left on the front of that package, so I took a big one and put it here, and then the two small ones here. And so you know what I should have done, let me show you, because you're only going to get one strip. So we used the, is this champagne? Yeah, it says black, white, and champagne, but I don't know, gold. And then, so we're going to use the silver ones on this one. And you can use whatever embellishments that you have. I think this will be fine. But because you're only going to get one strip, you only get so many. So now this one is gold and this one is silver. So there you go. So that is the third card. This will go here. This goes back in the bucket. And now we got a gift card holder. So let me bring in, I'm using a 3/4 inch circle punch, but you can use whatever you like to use to make the little notch. Let's get all this off to the side. Okay, so, oh, there's my directions. So this opens like this. Fun, right? Okay, so I think it's all fun. Make sure there's no little pieces down in there. Let's do the stamping because I like to make sure that gets good and dry. So we're gonna stamp the big one. Look, I smeared mine too. Crumbs. Oh well. All right, so I've already colored my holly. This is the one where you need the 3 if you want. The little one's going to go on the inside, and this is where it says Merry Christmas, and we're going to use this font and make sure it's the little one because the joy doesn't really fit on the big one. So I'm going to do Merry and then Christmas. So you could still write below. I'm just going to stick those right there for now. And then for the outside, I'm only going to ink up the top 2 lines of this. It says wishing you and yours. So how I'm going to do that is just on my ink pad. I'm only inking up the top 2 lines of the sentiment. And then I'm going to try to center it on my label. I didn't catch quite enough ink there, but that's okay. All right, this goes back in here. I will clean those in just 1 second. And let's let those dry. All right, so let's build some pieces here. So this piece goes on the inside here. And we're going to use a seal. So I do an in-person card class every month. Usually it's on the 3rd Saturday of the month, but you know, sometimes that's just not doable. And so and then I'm typically live or sometimes have a pre-recorded video for you on Tuesdays at 2 o'clock. All right, then this one, I want to use glue because I don't want to handle it too much. I want to turn it over and smear the ink. So we'll put that there, and then we'll take a glue dot. Let's just put these on. Did those get on with glue dots? Yep. I love this little holly. Okay, and we'll put one right inside on the corner like that. Okay, now we're going to take the smaller piece of the paper. We're going to fold this over and crease it with our bone folder. And we're going to put, I want the green side up this time. So we're going to put adhesive on the back. Like that. And then you're going to take, and you can just eyeball this. I'm okay with eyeballing it, I guess. And I'm just going to punch out just, you know, like not even half. It's just enough to be able to grab the card. And let me grab tear and tape and make the card. So you're going to take your tear tape and you're just going to put it on the outside edges, or technically it's the top and bottom of this little pocket. So there's the bottom, and you want to make sure you go all the way to the edge and then up to that score line. That way your gift card is still going to slide in there. Okay, remove the backing. And then fold this over like that. And then this is one of my favorite gift cards. I love snowmen. All right, and then now your little gift card fits right in there. Or you could do cash or a check or a fun little note or not do it at all. You could just cut off this piece right here, this little panel right here. You could just cut it off and just have the card open like that. And you could decorate that front. You can do all kinds of things, okay? Now, for the front, we're going to, one more time, we're gonna lay down some adhesive here. If you're watching this later on YouTube, please make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Hopefully, if you're watching this on Facebook, you're already following me. If not, I would appreciate that as well. Helps me to reach more crafty friends, right? Okay, so then this is going to get the ribbon. I wrapped it all the way around. Make sure it's not twisted in the back. And we're going to secure this with a bow off to the left-hand side. You could also do a nut. Now let's get these kind of evened up. I can get my, there we go. That needs to be shortened a little bit. So kind of hold the knot and then you can pull the tail. And I didn't quite get them even, so we can always scoot it over if we need to. So just get your bow tied and then you can finagle and finesse. That's better. Oh, not really. This one's too long. One more time and then I'll leave it alone. All right. I'm holding pressure on that. I'm going to slide this in and grab it. And then this is what we will get. And it's fine. Looks like I might have had a little longer piece, but that's okay. All right, and then when you like it, you can cut your ends off at an angle. And then if you just bow the card just slightly, you can slide the ribbon over wherever you think you're going to want it. And we're not going to put an adhesive there either, so if you need to adjust it again, you can. So we're going to do dimensionals on the top and the bottom of our label. And, you know, I don't need an excuse to use a lot of dimensionals. This is just what I like to do. Okay, so then this is just going to slide right over that ribbon like that, and then you can still adjust and move this ribbon around. Now we do need to add this piece to the front. This is going to go like this, so let's grab our adhesive again. I'm looking for, I don't see how long it's been. Oh, I guess I have a clock. It's on. Oh, cool. It's going to be just about an hour. All right. So make sure that you're subscribed to my email list. The link will be in either the description above this video on Facebook, or it'll be in the description below on if you're watching later on YouTube. And now this one is going to go like this. And there's just a hint of that DSP from the inside on there, okay? But what I want you to see is you only want to put adhesive on the part that's underneath here. So I kind of just take my thumb as a guide, and then I know that I only want adhesive. I don't want to have any adhesive over here. And because people are going to be quite a bit, because it's fun to open and close it. All right, so then you can just close your card and lay it back down, kind of like you had it. I always like to give like a dry run or dry fit. And so now this is going to go. See how you've got the DSPs just peeking out? And then there we go. All right, now we've got, and I think I might scooch this over or shorten the tails just a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to put holly up here. We've already got them on glue dots. And then we'll put a piece down here. And then we'll take a little bit more glue. And this is the, where you just need a little bit. My friend, sweet friend, Terry Lynn, always says, ... you don't need a lot. Okay? And then I'm going to take my help with my tweezers. And this is going to go. This is why you wanted to stamp that near the top, because it barely fits all of that together. And then make sure that that's down. And then again, if you want, let me grab, got some Wink. So there is quite a bit to these cards, but you know, if you take the card class, most of the work is done for you. That's a benefit. If you take it to go, you do have to, you know, well, just like if you were in the in-person class, I don't stamp anything for you. You have to stamp and die cut, you know, your pieces, but the cards are already cut and scored. Everything is embossed for you. So yeah, so you just make it easy. So there you go. So there's the Fun Fold card. All right, so let's bring them all back. There's the envelope for that one. So we have, let's scoot all that off to the side. So here's these two, and then we have these two, and these two. So this is my Christmas card class for September. I will have a PDF only option available for purchase later. So me, darlingstampinspot@gmail.com, or you can message me here on Facebook that you're interested in the PDF. And like I said, I do have one packet available, whether you want to join us in person or to go. It's $30. And if you need it shipped, I'll have to calculate that shipping for you. But there you go. So I hope you enjoy the Jolly Holly Christmas card class for September of 2025. And I will see you next time. Bye.